The universe was supposed to be quiet now. After centuries of peace, no one expected trouble. But the silence was breaking, and fast. In a small human colony on the edge of the galaxy, Commander Leah stood on the observation deck, staring at the stars. Her eyes were tired, but her mind was sharper than ever. "Commander," a voice called out. It was her second-in-command, a young officer named Yalin. "We just received a distress signal from Colony Sigma-7. They're under attack." Leah's heart skipped a beat. Colony Sigma-7 was one of the most important human settlements out there. "How bad is it?" she asked. "Aliens. A fleet we've never seen before. They hit without warning. The colony's defenses are falling." "Fast," Leah clenched her fists. "Prepare the fleet for immediate departure. We're not going to lose another colony." Yalin nodded, already rushing to give orders. But Leah's mind raced. How had the aliens found them? Why now? Across the control room, the crew worked quickly. Alarms rang. The hum of engines grew louder. The fleet moved like a well-oiled machine, ready to fight or flee. Leah turned back to the window. "This can't be the start of another war," she whispered to herself. But deep down, she knew it was too late. The message from Sigma-7 was brief and terrifying. "We're falling. They're everywhere. Run if you can." Suddenly, the ship shook violently. "Brace for impact!" Someone yelled. The enemy fleet had appeared, faster and more powerful than anyone expected. Bright beams of light pierced the darkness, hitting ships one by one. Explosions lit the sky like fireworks, but these were deadly. Leah grabbed the communication device. "Sigma-7, hold on. Help is coming." Static answered her. Then silence. Minutes later, the fleet regrouped. The damage was severe. Many ships were lost. The crew was silent, shocked by the sudden attack. Leah looked around, her voice firm. "We need answers." "Why now? Why attack a peaceful colony?" A scientist on board, Dr. Mara, stepped forward. "Commander, I've been studying alien behavior for years. It seems they fear us, but they also see us as a threat." Leah frowned. "Fear us? We've done nothing but explore and trade." Mara shook her head. "They don't see us as humans. To them, we're unpredictable, dangerous. Maybe it's time we accepted that peace is over." Leah's stomach tightened. "Then what do we do?" The room was silent. No one wanted to say the word war. That word hung heavy in the air. Leah walked to the window again. The stars, once peaceful, now seemed cold and distant. "If war comes, we must be ready," she said quietly. Suddenly, a message flashed on the screen. It was from Earth Command. "All human colonies are to prepare for immediate defense. The enemy fleet is growing. We must act before it's too late." Leah's eyes burned with determination. This is not just an attack. It's a declaration. The universe will never be the same again. Behind her, the crew prepared. Weapons were charged. Plans were made. Every man and woman knew this fight would change everything. As the fleet jumped into hyperspace, Leah whispered, "When humans finally had enough." The universe was never the same. The war had begun, but something strange was happening inside the human colonies. No one could explain it yet, but people were changing. It started with small things: strength where there should have been weakness, faster thinking, senses sharper. Then before in a laboratory deep underground, Dr. Mara stared at the glowing screen in disbelief. "Commander Leah, you need to see this," she called. Leah hurried in, her face tense. "What is it, Mara?" Mara pointed at the data. "Our tests show the humans are evolving. Their DNA is unlocking something new, something powerful." Leah's eyes widened. "Evolving? How?" Mara shook her head. "We don't know yet, but it's happening fast. People who survived the first attack are showing strange abilities. Some heal quickly. Others sense danger before it happens." Leah frowned. Are these abilities enough to fight the aliens? We don't know, but it's the first real advantage we have, Mara said suddenly. The lab's alarms blared. A soldier rushed in, panting. Commander, there's an incident at Outpost Delta. A man stopped a falling crate with his bare hands, and he wasn't hurt. Leah's heart pounded. This is no ordinary war, she said. This is a turning point. The news spread quickly. Across the colonies, people discovered new strengths within themselves. Some could move faster than a blink. Others could hear whispers from miles away. But with these gifts came fear. Yalan, Leah's second-in-command, said quietly, "Are we becoming what they feared? Monsters?" Leah looked at him. "No, we're becoming stronger, humanity's last hope." One night, Leah stood alone, thinking about what Mara said. If these powers are real, maybe we can fight back. Maybe we can win. Suddenly, a voice echoed in her mind. "Leah, help us," she spun around. No one was there. "Who's there?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Humans ... Awake," the voice whispered. Leah's breath caught. Was this real or her mind playing tricks? Meanwhile, alien scouts watched from the shadows, confused. "The humans ... changing. We must act fast," their leader hissed. Leah gathered her commanders. "We're no longer just survivors. We're evolving. The universe will see a new side of humanity," Yalan frowned. "But what if we lose control?" Leah smiled grimly. "Then we'll face the consequences. But if we don't try, we're already lost." The night grew quiet again, but Leah's thoughts raced. The war was no longer just about ships and weapons. It was about who humans would become and what that meant for the future. The universe was watching, and humanity was waking up. The tension in the command room was thick, heavier than ever before. Commander Leah stood at the center, her eyes fixed on the holographic map of the nearby star systems. The alien fleet was massive, and it was closing in fast. "We can't just wait for them to strike again," Leah said quietly. "We have to take the fight to them. It's time for the first strike." Yalan nodded, but there was doubt in his eyes. "Are you sure? Our forces are fewer, and the enemy is stronger." Leah's voice was firm. "We have something they don't, surprise, and the new strength we've discovered. If we don't act now, we lose everything." The crew prepared quickly. Ships were fueled, weapons charged, and pilots ready. In the hangar, soldiers whispered among themselves. Some looked scared, others eager. The new powers inside some of them gave a strange mix of hope and fear. Leah climbed aboard the flagship. "Listen up," she told the team. "This mission is dangerous. We strike hard and fast. We show them humans are not easy to break." Suddenly, the ship's alarm sounded. "Enemy fleet detected on the horizon," the navigator announced. Leah took a deep breath. "Engage." The fleet jumped into hyperspace and emerged just outside the enemy stronghold. The stars around them seemed to dim under the weight of the incoming battle. "Targets locked," Yalan said. "Fire." Energy beams lit up the dark sky. Ships exploded in fiery bursts. The humans moved with skill and power, striking the enemy where it hurt the most. But then something unexpected happened. From the enemy side, a new ship appeared, a massive vessel covered in strange symbols. It released a powerful wave of energy that disabled half the human fleet in seconds. The crew panicked. "We're losing ships," a pilot shouted. Leah's voice cut through the chaos. "Hold your ground. Focus on the new ship." Suddenly, one of the soldiers with enhanced strength, a young woman named Arya, leapt from her ship onto the enemy vessel using a grappling hook. The crew gasped. No one had dared such a risky move. Inside the enemy ship, Arya moved fast, disabling their weapons one by one. She was stronger than any human had ever been, faster than the enemy could react. "Arya, get out of there," Leah ordered. "No," Arya said, her voice steady. This is our chance. With a final push, Arya destroyed the enemy's power core. The ship exploded in a blinding flash. The enemy fleet faltered. Seeing their leader's ship destroyed, they began to retreat. The humans cheered, but Leah stayed serious. This is only the beginning. They will come back stronger. Yalin walked up to her. You were right, the new powers. They made the difference. Leah looked at the stars. We've sent a message today. Humans are no longer the weak ones. The universe will remember this strike. The war was far from over, but for the first time, hope burned brightly. The silence in the meeting room was deep and heavy. Commander Leah sat at the head of the long table, surrounded by her closest advisors. The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow of a holographic star map floating in the center. We struck hard. Leah began, but the enemy will not stop. We need allies, someone who understands the threat as we do. Yalin leaned forward. Do you think any alien race would stand with us? After all, we've fought many already. Leah's eyes were steady. Not all aliens want war. Some fear the destruction this fight will bring. We must find those who want peace. Suddenly, the communication screen flickered to life. A strange figure appeared, tall, slender, with eyes that seemed to glow softly. I am Taran of the Valari. The figure said calmly, We have watched your fight. Your strength is growing. But so is the danger to us all. Leah's voice was cautious but curious. Why help us? What do you want? Taran's gaze held hers. Because your enemy is also our enemy. Their hunger for power threatens every race in this galaxy. Yalin whispered, An ally from the Valari? This could change everything. Leah nodded. Tell us what you need. Taran's image shifted, showing images of other planets under attack, worlds burning, people fleeing. We propose a secret alliance, Taran said. Together, we can form a front against the enemy fleet. But how do we trust you? Leah asked. War changes friends into foes quickly. Taran smiled faintly. Trust is earned. Meet us on the neutral moon Arcanus. We will show you proof of our intentions. Leah looked around the room. Prepare a team. We leave at dawn. On the quiet moon of Arcanus, the air was thin and cold. Leah, Yalin, and a small group of soldiers waited anxiously in a clearing. Suddenly, lights appeared through the mist. From the shadows stepped a group of Valari warriors. Their movements graceful and precise. Tarien approached Leah. Welcome. We come not just as allies but as partners. Leah studied the Valari carefully. Show me why we should trust you. Taran nodded and led them to a hidden chamber. Inside, holograms displayed data proof of Valari attacks by the same enemy. Fleet, detailed plans to protect human colonies, and advanced technology. One of Leah's commanders whispered, This is real. Leah turned to Taran. If we join forces, what's the plan? Taran smiled. We combine our strengths. Your new abilities, our technology. Together, we can stop this enemy. Suddenly, alarms blared through the base. Intruders! A Valari! Soldiers shouted. Leah grabbed her weapon. Prepare for battle. A group of enemy scouts had found them. The fight was brutal, but the humans and Valari fought side by side, covering each other. After the last enemy fell, Leah looked at Taran. This is only the beginning, isn't it? Taran nodded. Yes, but united we stand a chance. As the sun set behind the cold mountains, a new hope was born. The universe was no longer a place of fear. Now, it was a place where old enemies could become allies, and the fight for survival became a fight for a new future. The command room buzzed with quiet excitement. For the first time since the war began, the humans and Valari had a real plan. They would strike a major enemy supply base hidden inside a dead star system. If they succeeded, it would slow down the alien fleet for months. Commander Leah stood beside Taran, watching the final mission layout on the screen. We hit fast, we hit hard, and we get out before they can call for reinforcements, she said. Ren nodded. The Lari scouts have confirmed the base's location. They're not expecting an attack. We'll have the advantage. Yalan stepped forward. Everything's in place. But something about this feels too easy. Leah glanced at him. We've earned a little luck, haven't we? He didn't respond, just stared at the glowing red dot on the map, the target. The fleet launched quietly under the cover of cosmic dust. Ships glided through space like shadows. Inside the command ship, everyone moved with precision. Confidence filled the air, but not everyone was calm. In the dark corners of the fleet, one human ship flew a little behind. Its pilot, Captain Reyes, stayed silent during all briefings. No one noticed that he had sent out a small, encrypted message just before the mission began. As the fleet approached the Dead Star system, Villuri and human soldiers prepared to land. They expected resistance, maybe a quick firefight. But when they arrived, the base was empty. No guards, no ships, no weapons, just silence. This doesn't make sense, Leah said, stepping onto the dark surface of the asteroid base. There should be thousands of enemy forces here. Terran's voice was tense. Something is wrong. And then it happened. The stars around them lit up one by one as hundreds of enemy ships uncloaked in the distance. It's a trap, someone shouted. Before Leah could react, an explosion ripped through the back of their formation. A human ship. Captain Reyes had fired on their own fleet. Yalan slammed his fist on the console. He betrayed us. Chaos followed. The enemy ships closed in fast. The Lari and human fighters scrambled to respond. The skies turned into a storm of fire and metal. Leah screamed over the comms, "Fall back. Regroup at Point Echo." But not everyone made it. Back at the main base, hours later, the survivors returned with heavy hearts. Many ships were lost. Soldiers were missing. The Alliance had taken a hit they never expected. Inside the war room, Leah stared at the screen. In silence, a list of casualties scrolled slowly. At the bottom was a warning. Captain Reyes status. Traitor. Taren stood beside her. We trusted your people. Leah turned toward him, her voice raw. We trusted him too. Yalan stepped in. Why would he do it? Reyes was decorated. Loyal, a war hero. Mara, the scientist, answered from across the room. There are rumors. Reyes' family was taken by the enemy months ago. He may have made a deal to get them back. Leah shook her head. He didn't just betray us. He betrayed the entire Alliance. A long silence filled the room. Finally, Taren said, This wound will not heal easily, but we must keep moving. The enemy wanted to break us. We cannot let them succeed. Leah straightened. Her face was tired, but her eyes burned with fire. Then we hunt Reyes. We expose the traitor. And next time, we strike harder. Yalan nodded. We lost the element of surprise. But now we fight with purpose. Outside the base, ships were being repaired. Soldiers trained harder than ever. The betrayal had shaken them, but it also lit something deep inside. The enemy thought a single traitor could break humanity. They were wrong, and far away, in the dark corner of space, Captain Reyes watched the stars, alone, afraid, and hunted. The war was far from over. It had only just changed. The war had taken its toll. Human fleets were scattered, and morale was fading. The betrayal by Captain Reyes had left scars that ran deep. Trust was harder to give, and fear hung in every corridor of every ship. Commander Leah felt the pressure. Heavier than ever, every decision mattered now. One mistake and humanity could fall. In the control room, she stood beside Yalan, staring at a flickering map of the galaxy. We're running out of time, she said. Resources, soldiers, ships, everything is getting thinner. Yalan nodded. We've lost more ground in the last 3 weeks than in the last 6 months. The enemy keeps adapting. Suddenly, a voice broke through the quiet hum of the room. "Commander, you need to see this." It was Dr. Mara, the lead scientist. Her voice was shaking, not with fear, but excitement. Leah and Yalan followed her. "To the lab. There's been a breakthrough," Mara said, tapping a screen. "Remember the strange human abilities we've seen since the war began? We finally understand why." Leah leaned in. "Go on." "Our DNA is responding to stress. Real, extreme survival stress. It's waking something up, something ancient. We call it the Echo Code, a dormant part of us designed for crisis. When triggered, it makes humans stronger, faster, smarter." Yalan raised a brow. "We're evolving again?" Mara smiled. "Not. Just evolving. Adapting faster than any species known. This might be why the enemy fears us. They've seen this before. And they lost." Leah's heart raced. "Can we control it?" "We're working on stabilizing it. With enough focus, soldiers can train to unlock and control their abilities instead of waiting for trauma to trigger it. We're building the first team now. We call them Echo Units." Leah looked at Yalan. "How soon can they fight?" Yalan grinned. "They're already suiting up." That night the enemy struck again. A large human settlement on the moon Alera was under siege. The defense grid failed within minutes. Civilians screamed as alien ships tore through the skies. It looked like another devastating loss, until something changed. 5 human fighters dropped from orbit in silence. No ships, just armored bodies falling like meteors. They landed in the middle of the chaos, leaving craters in the ground. Then, they moved, blurs of motion, waves of energy. One soldier shattered a tank with a single blow. Another ran through a group of enemies before they could even react. Weapons fired, but they dodged every blast like they knew it was coming. From the command center, Leah and Yalan watched the feed in awe. This is real," Yalan whispered. "They're winning." On the ground, people stared as the enemy fled, terrified for the first time. Children who had been crying minutes earlier now watched in silence as the humans stood tall, their eyes glowing faintly with blue light. The battle ended in less than 20 minutes. The humans had not just survived. They had dominated. Back at the fleet base, the celebration was quiet but powerful. Soldiers clapped each other on the backs. Engineers smiled again. For the first time in months, hope returned. Taren, the Valari ally, entered the room slowly. "We watched the battle," he said. "Your people. They have become something new." Leah looked at him, tired but proud. "Something the enemy didn't expect." Tarin gave a slow nod. "This changes the balance. The tide is turning. They will fear you more now. And they will strike harder." Yalan stepped in. "Let them try. We're ready now." But not everyone was celebrating. In the shadows, whispers spread. Some feared what the Echo soldiers might become. "If humans can do that," one officer murmured, "what stops them from turning on the rest of us?" Leah heard the fears, but she stayed focused. Power always brings fear. But this power gives us a chance, and I will make sure we use it right. Mara approached her later that night, holding a small data. "Chip, there's more. I found something buried deep in the enemy's code. A warning." Leah frowned. "A warning?" Mara nodded. "They call us the last flame, and their ancient records say that once the flame wakes, it cannot be stopped." Leah stared at the stars through the glass, then let them see the fire. The war had changed, and so had the humans. Universe was no longer a place where humanity merely survived. Now it was a place where they could win. The air was thick with tension in the war room. Commander Leah paced slowly in front of the massive holographic star map. Each blinking red dot marked an enemy stronghold, each one a target waiting to be crushed. This was their final chance, the last plan to end the war. "We've come far," Leah said, her voice steady but heavy. "But if we want to survive, we must hit the enemy's heart, the command nexus on Zorath Prime." Yalin frowned. "It's their central hub, heavily guarded by fleets and defenses. We'll need everything, our best soldiers, our new Echo units, and Velari support." Leah nodded. "Exactly. No mistakes this time." Turin stepped forward, his voice calm but urgent. "The Velari have discovered a weak point in their defenses, an ancient tunnel system beneath the planet. We can use it to get inside undetected." Leah smiled briefly. "A surprise attack from within." Yalin looked to Leah. "What about Captain Reyes? He's still out there." Leah's face hardened. "He won't stop us. We'll deal with him once the battle is over." The fleet moved in silence, tension high. Echo soldiers trained tirelessly, preparing to lead the charge underground. Leah checked the suit straps of her armor, feeling the weight of responsibility. She turned to Yalin. "This is it. Either we end this war today, or it ends us." Yalin gave a tight nod. "Let's make it count." As the fleet entered Zorath's orbit, sensors detected enemy patrols. The battle began instantly. Explosions rocked space. Lasers lit the darkness. The humans and Velari fought fiercely, buying time for the ground teams to land. Leah led her unit toward the tunnel entrance hidden in the rocky terrain. It was dark, cold, and smelled of ancient metal. "Stay alert," she whispered. "The enemy knows this place well." They moved silently, using their enhanced senses to avoid traps and patrols. The deeper they went, the stronger the feeling of danger grew. Suddenly, a voice crackled in Leah's earpiece. "Commander, we have a problem. Captain Reyes is here. He's leading enemy reinforcements." Leah's heart pounded. "How many?" "Too many," the voice said. "You need to move fast." The corridor ahead opened into a vast chamber filled with enemy troops. Leah raised her hand. "Prepare for battle." Echo soldiers charged forward, their powers lighting the room. Energy blasts flew, bodies clashed. Leah fought beside her team, every strike purposeful. But Reyes was there, his eyes cold and filled with betrayal. "You should have joined us, Leah," Reyes sneered. "Together we could have ruled the stars." Leah spat back. "You lost yourself. This ends now." They fought fiercely, blows exchanged with desperate energy. Leah managed to knock Reyes off balance and tied him up quickly. "You're done." Jalen's voice came through. "Commander, the command nexus is vulnerable. We have a small window." Leah nodded, signaling her team to move. They raced deeper into the tunnels until they reached the nexus core. Using Velari technology and their own skills, the team disabled the main systems, causing explosions that rocked the planet's surface. Outside, the enemy fleet panicked as their communication and defenses failed. The human and Velari forces pushed forward, destroying ships and bases. Back on the command ship, Leah watched the enemy surrender signal appear on the main screen. The war was finally ending. TAREN approached her. "Your people have proven their strength and heart." Leah smiled, tired but proud. "We fought not just for survival, but for a future." Yalin nodded. "The universe won't forget the day." Humans stood up and changed everything. As peace talks began, Leah looked to the stars, thinking of all they had lost and all they had gained. The war was over, but a new chapter was just beginning. The silence after the war felt strange, almost unreal. Commander Leah stood on the bridge of the flagship, staring out at the stars. The battle was over. The enemy had surrendered. Yet, the future seemed more uncertain than ever. "Taran," Leah said quietly, "we won the war, but what comes next?" The Velari commander beside her nodded thoughtfully. "The universe has changed forever. Old powers have fallen and new ones will rise, but peace is fragile." Leah sighed. "We fought so hard. We lost so much. How do we build something better? Yalan stepped forward. We start by learning from the past, trusting each other again. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. A strange signal pulsed on. The main screen, an unknown message in a language no one recognized. Mara hurried over. This is not from any known enemy. It's ancient, older than the war. Leah's eyes narrowed. Could it be a warning? The message repeated, growing. Louder. It showed images of distant galaxies, strange symbols, and a final phrase. The cycle begins again. Yalan frowned. A new threat? Before anyone could answer, the ship shook violently. The lights flickered. Outside, unidentified ships appeared, massive, dark, and unlike anything they had seen. Terran's voice was tense. This is no coincidence. The universe is testing us. Leah gripped the railing. We've survived betrayal, war, and darkness. Whatever this is, we'll face it together. The new ships advanced, their weapons charging. The universe was changing again. But humanity was ready. Not just to survive, but to lead. As the flagship moved forward into the unknown, Leah whispered. This is only the beginning. The stars awaited. The new universe was here.